when my mother died, may her soul rest in peace, I learned the students had meeting that since this man has been providing for us free education, some of them are in the university, some of them are here, because I take them to the university. They said, since my mother died, they're going to buy one crate of mineral. So I had 6,000 crates of minerals. I mean, can you imagine? So imagine one day when these my children now, some of them, one of them will separate them from a mad mother under the bridge. Now he's a medical doctor. Now imagine when these children all grow up. They grow up, and one day in my lifetime, I tell them I want to ride a car. I'm sure more than 1,000 cars will be coming to me. But if I have remained the enigma, Okusi Obu, Okosisi, Agadaba Chuzo, only you, listen. In the laws of economics, there's what is called diminishing return. That's the problem. So leaders must decentralize. No wonder Christ had 12 disciples and gave them powers. Leaders must learn to exit at the shortest possible time. Don't follow any leader that stays put forever. The shorter, the better. In Africa, you see presidents and governors who are praying for third term, fourth term, fifth term. If you allow every governor, they will say, let the thing be in perpetuity. Leaders must exit. And that's why when people say to me, happy birthday, we wish you another 100 years. I say, take it, don't wish me, take. I don't want to live for another 100 years. I don't want even to live for another 50 years. Because that's how long you live. If a child dies in the village, you say you killed him. You must exit fast so that people can miss you. When people say, what a mighty God we serve, hallelujah, what a mighty God we serve. They're talking about Christ, because he existed early. If Christ had lived up to this time, we would have given him a name. So leaders must exit fast. I personally do not believe in taking the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. I get this done now and now. So vice chancellor at your team, you have no time. Always say to yourself as a leader, I have no time. Whatever must be done yesterday, can't it be done today? And sometimes people say to me, and leaders don't say I'm tired. Leaders don't say I'm tired, I am weak, I am stressed, I am this. Leaders don't have a sleeping time. Because when you die, what will you be doing with the rest of the sleep? And they say to you, rest, find time to rest, rest. They're telling you rest in peace. I don't sleep, I can't sleep whenever it comes. Because there's always time God will provide. You can't cheat nature. If you walk throughout the night, one small time you have, you doze off. Listen, let me tell you, Africans are lazy. Don't tell anybody. We are lazy. Our lazy is contained in Iberibe chapter 1 verse 1. I don't want to bore you. I wanted to sit down and talk with you, but I'm not even going to the mail. I'll be brief because I have to leave now. Let me make a bit. I'll come back again and give a proper lecture. But let me talk about, so leadership is our challenge. And the democracy that brings our leaders is faulty. That's why we have 40 leaders. Lion must give birth to a lion. Goat must give birth to goat. So if your democracy is goat, it must produce goat. If your democracy is lion, it will produce lions. Do you know how to win election now? If election is done the way it ought to be done to give us leadership, 80% of those in authority today have no business in authority. And check places that the people have chosen their true leader. Performance is key. But when you impose leadership on people, they don't cooperate. It becomes a task. So something must be done about Nigerian democracy if quality leadership must emerge. I don't know whether you practice democracy in Nsukka. I like democracy in institutions. Very easy. I see former chairman of ICANN removing his crown and giving to another a successor. That cannot happen in politics of Nigeria. Before they can never do the day of handover, the man who is supposed to hand over to you ran away. I'm not giving this lecture to discourage you, but they put the truth in a practical manner. But let me tell you how blessed we are. I say to people, we are the most blessed nation in the world. Do you know everything we plant in Nigeria grows? Have you noticed that? And I'm coming to you now, the university. This is your challenge. And I wish this might end endowment fund raising. And I want to see that happen in this university. Do you know everything that you plant in Nigeria grows? Even palm. You know palm? Palm grows anywhere you put it. You don't have to plant it to plant it. But yet we are poor. And the oil from palm is more expensive than the oil from petroleum. In Imo State now, I just turned around the other palm, which I now changed the name from Ada to Imo Palm Plantation. Today I brought in an Irishman now, and I made 3.2 billion in less than 1 year. From palm. It is only in Nigeria that if you leave a house for too long, a roof, grasses will start growing on it. Which means our soil is not only fertile, even the atmosphere is fertile. So Vice Chancellor, when I ask you what's your population, you said to me about 50,000, 6,000 teachers. If I were you, plant a palm project and secure land now. In 3 years' time, if you can produce 1 million palm trees, you will tell federal government, don't come here again. That's what I mean by vision. Because the system we operate is the one that is of dependency. Sucking from the mother's breast. Do you know all these men, professors sitting here? If you are still sucking from a mother's breast, you have died by now. A time must come when a child must be forced to stop breastfeeding. If they didn't force us to stop breastfeeding, some of us at this age will be mama, and be chewing the old woman's breast. Nigeria is still a baby that doesn't want to grow. What pains me so much is that every month you see governors sending commissioners to go and look for money. If we don't get subvention for 2 months, this nation will close. What a shame. That's why I introduced what is called commercialization. I want to see a situation one day where Imo State will not go for subvention. How can I be Rochas Okorocha, managing director of Imo Group Nigerian Incorporated Enterprise Limited, with 5 million workforce, with arable land, and I'm the businessman And yet, I have to go and beg for money. Something is wrong with my state of mind. Every university ought to be independent, for crying out loud. So if I were you, cut off quickly from this federal support and look inward. For as long as a man does not look inward, he can never be searchable. That is why any man that is in good terms with his landlord can never build a house. But all this is in leadership. Too much of dependency, which brings about cashierism. Local government is dependent on the state. State is dependent on federal government. Federal government depends on oil. Depend. For how long would say we are an independent nation? Nigeria is not an economically independent nation. We are an economically dependent nation. What we are having now is what is called neo-colonialism. That's why we have our children now queuing at the American embassy 3 days, praying and fasting to be given visa. To go to where? To look for what? If not the mentality of neo-colonialism. I love Bob Marley. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. There's mental slavery in Africa. Sometimes you need to tell your landlord, oh God, this is too much. Who are you? You say, me, pack, I will pack. When one door closes, another door will open. So leaders are people with this set mentality. But let me tell you a few things, then I round up. About this, what is happening with our nation and the backlog from creation, from inception 100 years ago. Tafawa Balewa, Awolowo, Azikiwe, Sardauna. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria call obey. But the question is that how had our forefathers, how did they perform? The labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain. There's this beautiful restaurant. I love that restaurant. Somewhere in Mexico. If all of us go to eat in that restaurant, you see a big sign. Eat all you can. For your forefathers and founding fathers has paid for it. Then you can order for champagne, order for all the a la carte and all the wonderful food. Then you eat all you can. But behold, there's an exit door. In that exit door you are passing, you see another big signboard. Pay for the future generation. The problem we have in Nigeria is that our forefathers did not pay. So we have a responsibility to pay for the past generation and for the future generation. So the task before us is enormous, and responsibility has fallen on new shoulders. We cannot be remembered in history as war generals anymore, because Ojukwu has taken that pride in history. He's been decorated with so many laurels. Babangida has taken it, Buhari has taken that. We can't be remembered. Neither can we be remembered in the area of education. Bishop Shanahan and the great educationists have taken that. There's only one space left for us in history. If subsequent history will write something about us, a sacrifice.